Hey guys, Damnation Defaced here from Germany. Thanks for having us, and we're delighted to do this interview with you.
Yeah, so basically it's not the whole band, but at least Hannes and Lukas. Hannes is a guitar player, one of two, basically. I am the drummer, and we are glad to answer some questions for you today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, as said, we are Damnation Defaced from Germany. We are a so-called science fiction death metal band.
Made up word.
That's
we
right.
Made it up.
Within the next questions, we will go a little bit into detail as far as the style is concerned. And Damnation Defaced is turning 15 years this year in 2021. Question is, what does the band name means to us? It's pretty easy. Still nothing. When we started with the band, we called us Defaced, and then had a short chat with a band from Sweden, which is called The Defaced, and they asked us to change our name. So we brainstormed a little bit, and then came across Damnation Defaced, and we thought, well, sounds cool, nice alliteration, and that's it with the name. And I think a special thing is that we have a strong friendship within the band.
That's the thing with me joining the band only in 2019, right after the Wacken Open Air Festival. Does not mean I don't know these guys from way ago, because when they first started forming up, I was playing with my old metal band in Celle, where we are from, and we always had a lot of exchange, and I knew the guys from the early days when they were just Defaced, and I was like, oh cool, they do like really complex songwriting, and with me it was like, okay, yeah, I can do palm mutes and do like chunk stuff, and that was it for me. But pretty sure they got me interested in more of these complex melodic death metal. They kind of helped to form my taste in music and my vision in what me playing metal could mean.
And Hannes started as our producer.
I think we started doing the Invader from Beyond recording together, and after that it was live mixing as well.
Yeah, the feedback on the Devourer album was pretty good, and for us it was huge development from the Invader from Beyond album, not only in terms of the sound, but also in developing our own style a little bit further in the direction of so-called science fiction death metal. It's where we started a story as far as the lyrics are concerned in Invader from Beyond, and then picked up parts of the story with the Devourer album and tried to create more science fiction soundscapes and so on, and I think this is probably something you could tell something about from the producer perspective.
When we were recording the Devourer album, even more than the Invader, I was pretty heavily involved as a producer concerning, of course, like just normal recording stuff and making sure the takes were all great, but also having some minor ideas from the pre-production, which the guys then involved into the actual product, and we did a lot of lyrical stuff in the studio to figure out like the best parts or some additional parts, or when Phil was like, I don't like that part because the words don't mean exactly what I want. We did a lot in there to get the story that is the concept behind this album into words and more. If some of you actually heard the album and had a look at the lyrics, you might get that there's like a whole little cosmos and the story behind all of the songs, and we try to involve that as much as possible in the production, lyric-wise and songwriting-wise. And so for me as a production guy in that album, I got a lot of really good feedback because I think because you had such a clear vision of where you wanted to head with the sound, you could engineer it to sounding like that, like a massive juggernaut of sound which pushes the story through, rather than just having like a clean mix with sampled metal drums or whatever. Yeah, promotion of the album. Actually, it started really good with like it being released on the Wacken Open Air Festival weekend. So we had a great kickoff to set the whole thing in motion. And since we wanted to release it on the Wacken date, obviously, because that was like a huge deal for us. For me personally, because I did the last or next to last gig where I did FOH, which is a nice deal to do it at Wacken.
Yeah.
And see the guys play, and I already knew that I was taking the place on guitar, so that was like a really cool family-ish package with Lutzi Alt, guitarist. That was really nice. And then we started off. Partisan was next, and some really cool gigs. And unfortunately, when we took the next step, which was playing a show in the Planetarium in Hamburg in January 2020. That should have been the start for like a whole new concept tour, like even more space-wise, planetariums all around Germany and maybe the near European neighbors. So that was taken from us by the COVID virus because we already knew we couldn't plan, like pretty much early on, and we couldn't plan before we did the show in Hamburg. So after that, we had it all planned out and mapped, and so the main thing was promoting the album live. Unluckily fell through the coronavirus.
Yeah, of course, there were some scheduled shows for 2020, like some smaller festivals, and of course some club shows and so on. Actually, the show on the Planetarium in Hamburg was the one and only show we played in 2020.
Not entirely, but only live show with audience, and
that's right. Yeah,
and a show of our own.
Yeah, I think our style went through a pretty huge development or evolution or whatever. We started as a very progressive band, like okay, let's put 18 to 20 riffs in one song and make pretty long and complicated songs. I think the Invader from Beyond album was the first album where we did a very straightforward songwriting with a very modern sound. This album was the start in this sci-fi direction.
With at least the story elements and involving more and more synthesizers. With the Devourer, that was even taken further because it involved way more precise synthesizer sounds and got a nice interlude and an intro which went through some analog hardware to produce those sounds and not just like computer clicky thingies. And I think you guys are going to be pleased with what this will evolve into furthermore. So stay tuned for the next stuff we might be putting out. Maybe even getting a hint of what Damnation Defaced songwriting from 2006 would sound in 2021.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, and as far as our influences are concerned, I think there are many. Of course, several Swedish death metal bands like Opus, In Flames, whatever.
And I think it progressed over the years, which were the main influences. I think when we gave away the Invader for mixing, I think the reference in the end was At the Gates-ish, for example.
Yeah.
Just one of the examples, but like a classical metal band. And I think for the last album, for the Devourer, we strayed away from trying to sound like somebody else. We were more like, okay, what can we get from the material, and take influences, of course. Lutz and I are big Architects fans, for example, guitar riffing wise, so we took a lot of that, and there's stuff like Gojira played a big role in some of the more groovy elements. I think drumming wise, I presume as well. So that's an influence at least, and I think up till now there's even more exotic influence taking place. Like from my part, from a producer and the guitarist in this band right now. Sounds like the Doom soundtrack from Mick Gordon, for example, which involves a lot of heavy metal, 8-string, down-tuned guitars, and a lot of really fresh but still analog sounding synthesizers, which were given a lot of life into this soundtracky, cinematic sound design plays a lot bigger role right now, I would say. So I think that's a direction in which it's heading right now, and we're trying to find our niche in there and trying to form this subgenre of sci-fi metal with these elements. So yeah, we'll see where that'll take us. I think we might have forgotten a lot of even the better gigs, but
don't know why.
But yeah, what was it for you?
Yeah, for me it's the show on the Planetarium in Hamburg, which we already mentioned because it was an exclusive Defaced show with a very special show only for us, with programmed visuals, programmed laser show, and all you can imagine. It was kind of 360-degree show. Of course, I had a fixed place with the drum set. That's right, but the rest of the band walked through the room in between the audience and so on, and it was very, very cool.
Yeah, I think for me, I would have to choose between that show for obvious reasons, because it was just so great and it was exclusive, apart from the ladies from Eclipse who did the string quartet part and gave our show a little extra, even more so. So that was really great. And I mean, for me, it might have been the Wacken Worldwide show, which was not that special of a show because we just played kind of a normal set. But it was in this Corona pandemic when you couldn't play like any gig, and we had the opportunity to play like a Wacken festival in front of thousands of people. Like we were streamed in the normal television program for like 15 minutes ish. So that was really cool, and I got lots of my folks calling me and were like, hey, "Did I just see you in TV? What's up with that?" So that was really cool, and really cool to see how many people reacted to this. And I think most of them were like, "Yeah, that's really good shit. I like this. I want to see more of it." So we're looking forward to playing more shows for you guys. If it's online, it's okay, but we want to do it live with audience if we are able to.
Yeah, I can hardly remember how this connection to the Sky Sharks team established, but I think our vocalist Philip somehow got in touch with the film team, and then there was this request to write a song for the soundtrack, which we did, obviously, and Philip and Schmitty, our bass guitar player, also have a tiny role in the movie, and after they went to the set, the film crew mentioned that it would be possible for us to shoot the video at the original set, which was a pretty cool opportunity. So we did that back in 2018, I think. We weren't allowed to release the video before the film, and then there were several problems, discussions, whatever, with CGI effects and whatever. So it took 3 years until the film was ready to release and so on, and well, we had to record the song Dead Flesh 4 I think 3 times right now, that it fits to our actual material. So we recorded it when we put out Invader from Beyond. We recorded it again in between. We recorded it when we recorded the Devourer, and yeah, pretty long story with Dead Flesh 4. But yes, finally at the end of 2020, the guys said, "Well, film is ready. Will be released in the first half of 2021," and then we were able to put out the music video.
How do you compose your songs? In which ways do you share the work in the music making process? I think that's where you should start.
Yeah, I would say we write 95% of our songs online. That means Lutz comes across with a riff or pretty much
song idea structure,
whatever. Then I program some drums and make suggestions for the arrangement, and then there's mostly an exchange between Lutz and me until we have the feeling that the song is kind of song already, and then the material will go to the rest of the band, and then we pretty much develop the ideas to the end, and
prop up the pre-production and try to swap out parts, or like get a new approach, or get the weights of the different parts in level to each other. So we might add a synthesizer here or there, but take a guitar idea or add a guitar idea and throw out some additional drum fills, which we first thought were cool, or most of the time it's the opposite. We put in some extremely nice drum fills, of course, but yeah. So, are you going to release a new album soon or play at a summer festival? And yes and no. We are going to release a lot of new material because we were in the lucky position and got an external funding from a German initiative who supports musicians, and they supported a lot in the Corona time. So we were one of the lucky ones who got some funding to do an actual album production we otherwise couldn't have put up with financially, because no shows, like a bit of merch still online, but there was just no funding from us to get this project done. So we're really lucky that we got the Initiative Musikförderung, and we were able to rent some cool places to record, and put a lot of time into the new songs in the studio, and make time for additional detail work which we otherwise shouldn't have been able to do. So that was really cool. So for you guys, there's new material coming out. We put a lot of effort in, and we are glad to release it when it's done, which should be soon.
Hopefully. And we have some really cool specials planned during the release process. Stay tuned. We have one upcoming show in November, I think. It's Metal Hammer Paradise. But that's pretty much the only show which is scheduled.
It feels really good to have something scheduled right now. So we've got something to look forward to, and hope you do as well. What was your first piece of metal clothing?
I think it was a Limp Bizkit shirt in 1798.
Okay, thought you were actually gonna say it was your Knight Armor.
Right.
I think for me it was way back when I was just into metal and wanted to have something metal, and I found some really cool Soulfly chucks, I think. I wasn't really into Soulfly. I knew like one or two of their songs and were like, cool enough, but I want those shoes. Those are metal. So you've got this tribal thingy on the side. So I was like, yeah, I want these shoes. And I think that was the first thing I purchased on EMP.
Nice.
Yeah. Metal.
I would say Hellfest because of the people and because of the always great billing. Hearing people talking about this festival, I think I would be really glad to play there at some time.
I always thought if you're gonna make it as a musician, you will have a full Wembley stadium in front of you. I think with our niche of death metal, Wembley might be a bit far-fetched, so I'd say if we're able to do the planetarium tour and actually travel around Europe and play in different planetariums and do all this crazy 360 video with laser and nice lights and nice support acts or like nice extras and do like yeah, like really cool stuff. That would be I think the greatest thing in the reachable space for me. I think Wembley is a bit far-fetched with this metal, but
we will see.
We'll see. Maybe first planetariums and then
Stadiums.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. If you could make a wish to the Star Wars Cantina Band and you knew they would play the song for the rest of the evening, which song would you request and why would you endure it for the rest of the evening? Lucas.
As far as one of my favorite songs is concerned, it would be "It's a Long Way There" from Little River Band.
Okay.
Pretty nice song, and it's kind of family song. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, being like an okay Star Wars fan, I would say.
Let's stay with the Cantina Band song.
I will stay with the Cantina Band song. Yet another time. Keep it coming. And maybe more realistically would be the new orchestral version of Architect's Animals, which my newborn takes as his favorite nappy music. You put it on and his eyes fall asleep, and so this will do me two benefits. It will please my ears because I really like it, and it will make my life a lot easier because my baby likes it, and he will fall asleep and just or stay awake but enjoy the music, and I can make sure that he's growing up with good music. Yeah, so
That's easy. Beer.
beer.
Yeah, it's
Beer.
very unprofessional. Very jealous.
You want it? I think beer goes for the rest of the band. Yeah, beer. I always say beer is the best beer.
Beer is the best beer, and well, slightly warm beer is better as no beer.
Yes.
Better als.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks for having us. It was a pleasure. I think we had a lot of fun in here. It was really nice. And yeah, stay tuned for all the good stuff we hopefully put out in the near future. Yeah, please support us on social media, and there you will get all the information for the upcoming material and maybe something extra once in a while. And yeah, we hope you like what we got waiting for you. So yeah, thanks Extreminal, and
Yeah, goodbye. See you next time.
see you next time.